In 2023, Microsoft Research looked at 200,000 Copilot conversations and ranked data scientists as one of the most at-risk jobs to AI. 3 years later, the US government's own data says the opposite. Data scientists had the lowest layoff rate of any tech role, only 3%. I've spent the last few days pulling the actual numbers, especially all the data from 2023 into 2026. We'll cover layoffs breakdown by roles, country, job posting count, all of it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what happened to the data scientist job and what is changing in 2026. Quick note, these slides are made with Gamma, who are kindly supporting the channel this summer, so if you're interested and you want to give it a try, link in the description below. When we look at the data online, we can see some conflicting information. Microsoft said that data scientists are the most exposed in terms of layoffs, while BLS projected a decent growth for data scientists between 2024 and 2034 with an even 34% growth projection in the USA. So in this video, we're going to look into the last 3 years of data scientists, the hiring, what happened, so that we can see which one of these is really true and which ones are not. So for full transparency, I'm gonna state what sources I've used. They might not be perfect. It really depends on what types of studies, what kind of samples were used. Here I'm using BLS projections, job postings data, layoff tracker, and skills analysis. Here I'm looking specifically into BLS projections to see what might happen by 2034. Job postings data, what employers advertise at the moment, layoff tracker, who was cut, mostly big tech, that's what we're gonna see, and skills analysis, what postings actually ask for at the moment. My goal is to not just quote one source, but we're gonna look into different ones, and we can make our own judgment based on the numbers. In 2023, there was a big panic. There was 90,000 US tech layoffs, and that really shook the world. It was the beginning of ChatGPT, everyone started to use it, and every company already started to say that we were gonna cut on more and more employees over time. And this was especially big tech companies based in the US. It wasn't in the whole market, but since they are the ones that are most known, it made the headlines and people started to really fear about losing their jobs. What happened next was very interesting. We saw 639,000 AI-related US job posting added between 2023 and 2025 on LinkedIn. 75,000 of them were AI engineer roles. AI, ML, and data roles were roughly 49,000 in 2025. It's up 163% on 2024. So the 3 years after the panic added more data work, not less, especially looking at the US data. One of those new jobs that a lot of people transitioned into is AI engineering. And when we look at the data and what LinkedIn says, it says that most data engineers came from a data scientist background. So basically, a lot of data scientists transitioned into AI engineering because they have the background with working with data and they slowly made their way into AI engineering. So when people talk about the panic around data scientist role, it's because they think that a lot of data scientists lost their job, but in reality, a lot of data scientists' role has evolved over the past few years. Some transitioned more into ML engineering, some transitioned into AI engineering, some became more statisticians, some stayed data scientists. So the reality is that the job title has been moving around. It doesn't mean that the job was cut everywhere. When we look at the layoffs that happened in the recent years, especially in the US, we can see that data scientist role wasn't affected as much as other roles such as HR and talent sourcing, with nearly 28% of layoffs for that industry. Software engineers that got a big hit but with 22% layoffs, marketing with 7%, and data scientists only 3% compared to the others, while Microsoft was saying that it's going to be the #1 job role that's going to be affected by layoffs due to AI. But the reality is, it still feels harder nowadays. I speak to a lot of people and I know it myself. It feels more difficult to get jobs nowadays. So these numbers say that there is a growth in general in terms of AI roles, data roles in general, but it feels harder. Why? And that's the question we'll try and answer now. The thing is, because AI is becoming so good at taking on so many different tasks nowadays, that entry-level jobs have been suffering. And we can see that in the US, hiring fell by 6% year on year for entry-level roles. So graduates and juniors, they're struggling a lot in the job market at the moment. All the roles that were structured, repetitive also fell by 13%, because that's exactly what AI thrives on. If it's something that can be repeatable, AI can do it. When looking at the overall posting, it's flat, but when we look at the AI roles, there is a real growth because there is a hype there is a need, so there is a growth in the AI roles. The market did not necessarily shrink, it's just the easy entry points did. So the roles that were repetitive, structured, quite easy to train someone on, AI is taking on that load, and a lot of people are losing their jobs because their jobs are predictable. Since I'm based in the UK, I also wanted to talk about the UK. When we talk about the US, the AI jobs are growing. The growth is projected for another 7-8 years. The tech jobs in general are soft, but anything related to AI, there is a boom in there. The UK, on the other hand, we see a decrease of job posts year on year since 2023 and a decline across most occupations and broad economic weakness, not just AI. This is a nationwide economic weakness that the UK is going through. The real shift in the data scientist role, if we compare 2023 and 2026, which is very recent, but things have changed. So in 2023, data scientists were cleaning data, training models, evaluating in notebooks, and presenting the findings. Yes, there were a few subtleties where sometimes you were focusing more on the research, trying to very much optimize the models. Maybe you were running some A/B testing in the background. So it's not just this, but most of the work expected from a data scientist was roughly in this sphere. Nowadays, in 2026, you're expected to frame the problem, train and evaluate the model, deploy and monitor it, own the business outcome. And you might think that framing the problem, owning the business outcome, these are things that you would do before as well, but you would only do them when you're more senior in your career, not when you're a junior. But nowadays, even a junior data scientist is expected to perform at a senior level, and that's where the difficulty becomes. Deploying and monitoring ML models is something that ML engineers excel in, not data scientists. But nowadays, you should be able to understand those concepts as well, if not even take charge of them. And that's where the difficulty became. So AI did not delete the job, it deleted the easy version of it. And when I say easy, I mean the parts that can be done with AI. Looking at the job posting, we can see some patterns. We can see that Python, SQL, statistics, and machine learning are still required in data science. That's the bread and butter of the job. The bar that moved is the employer expectation. They expect more deployment, more understanding of the cloud, more ownership, more seniority, basically, like owning the models, not just writing models in notebooks. But they also expect you to have familiarity with deep learning models, for example, PyTorch or TensorFlow, and also AI frameworks and systems and tools like LangChain, like RAG, like agents. Now you need to mix the data science world with the AI engineering world. And that's why we see a lot of data scientists shifting into AI engineers, because they were forced to learn a new skill set to stay relevant in this job market. Let's look into what the skills are worth nowadays. So if we look at the data scientist median earnings is $112,000, whilst AI engineers in 2026 have a median of $206,000 per year. It's the same person, just a wider skill set. They reprice themselves in the market. So if someone was already an experienced data scientist, they needed to learn a few more tools, some intuition, some AI system design, and they could directly switch into AI engineering. Plus, there was the transition that made it quite easy because everyone was still figuring things out just 12-18 months ago. So what it takes nowadays to stay relevant as a data scientist is being able to perform at a top level, even including the infrastructure. You need to be good at APIs, containers, deployment, monitoring, which was a lot of the work that was done by ML engineers. You don't have to become as good as an ML engineer or a platform engineer, but you need good notions of each and every one of these concepts. Just think about it this way. Nowadays, nobody wants to hire a data scientist who needs someone else to deploy a model. You need to be able to do that yourself. And I do have a few end-to-end videos in the channel, so if you want to go and explore, you'll find them in the description below. So a quick verdict here in summary. Predicted that the role will disappear by 2025. We know that's not true. The actual numbers is that there are over 600,000 AI roles added and data scientists least cut. So it was only 3%, and a lot of those data scientists transitioned into different roles like ML engineering and AI engineering. What is true is that entry level is harder, the skill set is wider, so you need somehow to get more experience faster, and that's what makes it tricky nowadays. And the opportunity, it does exist for people who are prepared, and also people that are visible, that share their wins, that share that they're good. And that's where having a personal brand online where you share content is really valuable. I want you to start with proof, because proof beats credentials in this job market. Let's say someone has 10 years of experience as a data scientist, and you have 3 years of experience as a data scientist, but you are very visible online. You speak on LinkedIn, you network with people, you have some YouTube videos, you write articles on Medium. Whatever things that you do online gives you extra credibility, authority, visibility, and trust. And you might get the jobs that the person with 10 years might not get because they are invisible. So invest in yourself and in your personal brand. If you want to look into 5 data projects that can actually get you hired, where you can build the intuition of working end-to-end projects, I'll link it for you in the description below, and you'll find it just here somewhere. And again, if you enjoyed the slides that were made in this video, they were all made with Gamma. So if you want to give it a try for free, you'll find the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.